Just hop on for a quick chat here. See what people are up to. Happy Thursday, everyone. See if we get some friends in here, get some good conversation going. One thing I have been kind of watching is this
David
all-in
Sachs, Commander
podcast.
of the 4th Battalion of the Internet Tweet Brigade. General, welcome. Joining us from a remote location.
In Moscow.
Has there been like an establishment takeover of the pod? I mean, what's up with this intro?
Yeah.
Every argument they make against us, you're basically just conceding it's true.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
From his 12th century Mediterranean castle, Il Duce, Chamath Polyhapatia. Welcome, Chamath. How is the Mediterranean diet treating you?
Blue.
And Emperor Nero Calicanus, ruler over podcasts, paid events, entrepreneurial universities, and dental SPVs. Emperor, thank you for letting me sit in your throne today.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
Dental SPVs.
Shout out to my dentists.
Wait, did you say king of STDs?
These guys
What'd you say?
SPVs.
Oh, SPVs.
can be
Dental
hilarious.
SPVs, yeah.
That's the thing with certain.
Let's try
For
to
that,
skip
which
ahead
hasn't
here.
changed. Even CNN had written an article basically supporting the idea that the counteroffensive was not
I don't know if I want to get into all this.
living up to what had been promised. And so everyone was
Just wanted to hop on and say hi, see if anyone had any finance questions. Also got to make sure I always remember how to get this streaming thing going here. If anyone does have any questions, we can kind of run through a couple example plans. That's always fun. Talk about some financial freedom plans. I've also been kind of playing around with the idea of doing some actual financial planning software plans. So let's see here. If I go ahead and log in, maybe we have a little bit of fun over there. And I'm trying to better up my skills here on using this software. So I wouldn't be too mad if we had a couple examples here. So I'm just going to add in as an example here. We're going to call this TikTok example. Feel free to comment in the chats if there are any finance questions on this fine Thursday. And actually, maybe what we should be doing is watching something more financial planning related.
Hi, my name is Elise Fox, model, mom, and entrepreneur based in New York. I started my company, Sad Girls Club, on
some other folks trickle in. Thank is referenced in the tax return
And
we'll be
see
going over. So
if
if you're interested, you can click this,
anyone
download
wants
this.
to watch those.
I'll also be referencing this. This is one of those annual updated important numbers thing. This particular one's from College of Financial Planning, has the tax brackets and
Thank you.
rates, has the Medicare surcharge income thresholds, has HSA things, retirement contribution limits, etc. Freely available. I didn't make this, again, College for Financial Planning, but freely available on my website. And there we have it. Okay. So let me now go back to the other, all right, we'll get into it now. All right, so that's the free resources. For those of you that want to follow along, again, I'll be doing this largely from this PDF I'll have up on the screen. And also, again, please hold questions to the end. I'm figuring about 40 minutes.
What's up, Joey? Thanks for jumping in. I am doing great. Hope all is well with you.
So let me start with the all-important disclaimer. All right. Disclaimer, this webinar is only general explanations and education. It is not specific tax, legal, investment advice. While I believe all information presented to be accurate, I make no representation of the same. Neither I nor Tenet Financial LLC shall be held responsible for any damages or losses relating to your use of the information presented herein. Thank you! Exclamation point. Okay, so let's now get into it. Here is a sample tax return. Again, this is focused on retirees or people near retirement, but some of these things will be unique, will apply to everyone, aren't unique to retirees. Also, I'll be making some comments of things you can keep in mind when reviewing a return of a prospective client. Also, some.
Curious if anyone's on the live here, if you can hear this okay. Getting the audio to play through for my voice as well as the computer has been a challenge in the past, so just want to make sure that that actually sounds okay.
Things you can keep in mind when reviewing tax return of an actual client. The difference is, hopefully, with an actual client, you shouldn't be surprised by what you see in their tax return. With a prospect, assuming you don't know much about them, some things may jump out.
Awesome. Thanks, Foster. Appreciate it. If anyone has any just general finance questions, happy to kind of just go off the beaten path here. I just wanted to hop on for a little bit, make sure that all my sound systems were still working. It's been a little bit since I've gone live. What I usually like to do on here is hop in and do an example financial plan, people throwing out dates and throwing out ages. And I'm also kind of getting into the idea of doing it more within the financial planning software because I'm trying to get a little bit faster at it. So maybe that would be a decent place to start, is like, even if you just have, let's just say that there's a single individual here. So there's just one client in this case. And, their name is TikTok example. Let's see, maybe they are, how old do we want to say they are? I guess if they're 30, they would be born in like 1993. So we could just go ahead and say that. We could say maybe they're from, I don't know, do we want to say a high state, low state? Somewhere in the middle, maybe. Maybe we want to say they're from like Colorado. And when do we want this plan to last? Maybe till age 95. We can go ahead and save that. We can talk about their income. What should this person's income be? Maybe want to say that this income is like 100,000. I don't know if anybody wants to add something different. Hey, Invisible, thanks for jumping in. If anybody wants to throw out a number here for what income we want this person to have, feel free to toss out a number and we can just go with it just for fun. $130,000. All right, Jeremy, you're the winner. $130,000. Okay. And Jeremy, is this person single, or do they have a significant other? Perfect. Single. Okay. We're just going to assume that that income increases by 3% per year, if you're cool with that. And we're just going to have the regular estimated Social Security. Oh, sorry, Logan. Just a tad shy. We can do another example on the fly here with 80,000. Okay. So on to savings. So now we got to talk about, where is this person saving? They make 130,000. But how much are they saving? Should we say that they are contributing like 10% to their 401k? Does that feel reasonable? And also, I didn't ask anyone here if they wanted to have an age. I made this person 30. If someone else wants to throw out. Okay, someone said maxing it out. Okay, yeah, we can go ahead and max it out. So what that would really be then is going to... So when you say maximum contribution, I've done this before, and that actually puts it up to like 60,000. So we're going to do an annual dollar amount, because the maximum right now is 22,500. And then we can have an annual increase of 3%. Now, it's not going to increase, I don't think, 3% per year, but it will probably go up in stages just because the max amount you can do to a 401k slowly increases with inflation. So this is going to be owned by them. It's going to be the target amount, 22,500. Is there a match? Maybe let's just say there's a 3% match if everyone's cool with that. Someone's saying all into the Roth. That's cool with me. So percent match to the Roth. Start saving, annual dollar amount, primary match. All right, I think we're good there. Okay. Are there any other savings in this example? Yeah, Rob, if you want to call in, that'd be cool. It'd be a good test. Send me over a message on Instagram, and I think what would be easiest or what would be best is if you were watching this on your computer and then you had your phone, and then everyone would be able to hear the phone call. And of course, you can keep yourself anonymous. So if you send me over a message on Instagram, then I'll just go ahead and send you that number. Also maxing out the IRA. Okay, so we need to add some savings. We're going to do a traditional IRA, although we could actually do with this person at 130. I think they're going to be really close to the backdoor Roth, so we might have to do a backdoor Roth IRA. So let's just go ahead and do 6,500 here to the backdoor Roth. And let's just do max contribution because backdoor Roth, you really can't, we're just going to let that increase over time here. Not seeing any messages on Insta if anyone was trying to call in, but that's okay. If someone wants to call in the future, hit me up on Instagram and we'll get a schedule and be able to do this live sometime. Okay, so any other savings right now? We're maxing out the 401k, maxing out the Roth. Should we just say that's good enough, or do we want to try to make some savings to the taxable account as well? What's up, Portfolio Ideas? Thanks for jumping in. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Okay, cool. So we're just going to call it good there. So we're maxing out 401k and maxing out Roth. Let's go on to the next. Now we're kind of filling out the balance sheet here, the net worth. So how much do we have saved already? Is there anything in the bank? Maybe we're going to say that we have an emergency fund. Does that seem reasonable? We can kind of just call this the emergency fund. Maybe there's $10,000 in the emergency fund. We'll talk about whether that's good, bad, otherwise. And then we got to talk about the investment accounts. How much do we have in the Roth IRA or the 401k? So we could call this 401k. 500,000 in the 401k. Okay. And is this all taxable? Is it Roth? Maybe it's kind of a mix. We could say that this is maybe we'll just do a mix because we're not sure. Maybe you are contributing to the Roth. Well, the employer, of course, is going to be doing pre-tax. So we could do Roth 401k. Let's see, 401k, 403b. Pretty sure one of these is mixed. It's probably right in front of me here. You're probably staring at it. 80% Roth. Okay, cool. Okay, so pre-tax and Roth. So Roth balance we're going to say is 80%. You can see that right there. Included in the plan, the owner. We have the balance at 500,000. What type of portfolio is this? Let's just do it based on a model, and let's go with a with the most aggressive model. If this is a 30-year-old, by the way, I don't think we got an age on here, so if someone wanted to throw an age, I had this person at 30, but I think if we're gonna have 500,000 in the Roth, we probably need to make, or in the 401k, we probably need to make this person a little bit older. I mean, that's probably not going to be realistic for many 30-year-olds out there. 34, I mean, that's still, you're crushing it. You're going to be in a kind of a league of your own here at 34 with 500 grand in the 401k. But nice, fortunately, we can go ahead and play with this, and we can kind of decrease it and increase it later on here. Okay, so next we need to add the balance of the Roth IRA. So we have the 401k, now we need to add the Roth. So we're going to go with an investment account. This is going to be the backdoor Roth IRA. This is going to be a, where can we find? I actually don't know if they call it backdoor on this right here. I think they just call it Roth IRA. Yeah, okay. And then how much, what's the balance on the Roth? We got 100 grand in there. Now that we might, I mean, that's hardly even possible because you've only been able to do, you know, let's say that you started working at like 24 and now you're 34. You've had 10 years working. And let's say you've been able to put in on average 5,000 per year. The max contributions you could even make to the backdoor Roth is 50 grand, and maybe it's grown to 70 or 80. So if you somehow squirreled away 100,000 into a backdoor Roth, that's once again going to put you in a league of your own. Nonetheless, we'll kind of just keep moving forward here. Let's go ahead and put it at a 90-10 model, so 90% stock, 10% bonds. Okay, so our we have a bank account, we have our 2 investment accounts. Could be from rollovers, that's so true. Very good, that's true. Do we want to have any property here? Or is this person, we're just gonna keep it simple and just keep the rent and the living expenses kind of flat? Either one is fine with me. Simple is fine. All right, we're going to go with the primary home is rented. What are we paying rent though? I mean, if this person's making 130,000, you know, I sure hope that they're not spending much more than 2,700 or so on rent. What about taxable brokerage accounts? Yeah, we can add some in here. I mean, we have right now a $500,000 401k and we have a $100,000 Roth. We can add in a brokerage if we want to. 1,500 a month on rent. All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and toss out the rent here. We're going to say that we're renting for 1,500. We got, what, 20 bucks a month of insurance, so 240 bucks maybe for insurance. Looks good. All right, Jeremy, you want to see 300,000 on the brokerage? I think we're going to have to end up winding this back. I mean, this is a really wealthy 34-year-old here. We're going to call this a brokerage account. I've stumbled across some 34-year-olds with these type of assets, but from across the US, that is a pretty rare breed. It's usually based on, like, you know, someone having a liquidation event or something like that with I guess, you're knocking on the door of $1 million saved. That's pretty incredible. In this example plan, of course. Okay, so let's go ahead and say, okay, we got the 401k, we got the Roth, we got the brokerage account. What do we have next here? We got to talk about living expenses. What is this person spending per month? If they're making, in this example plan, $130,000. This was just an example. We can play with the numbers at the end. We could increase the numbers, decrease it. Right now we're just kind of building out the first draft. Anybody want to throw out if we're if we have I can already tell you, basically if we just said that we're spending the rest, we could say, times 0.75, and that's like after tax, minus the 401k, minus the Roth, minus rent, which would be 18,000, I suppose. Pretty much we'd have to be spending, if we assume that they spend the rest. If they assume that they spend the rest, then they have to be spending about 50,000 a year. Let's see how my math does. So we're going to say that, what's 50,000 divided by 12? Should probably be able to do that reasonably close. Okay, so we're going to say 4150 is our living expenses. That's food, groceries, everything else. Okay, on to the next. Now, what age do we want to retire? This is a big one. Jeremy, you've kind of been leading the pack here. What age do we want to retire here? Hey, Jonathan, good to see you, man. We have an event coming up here, Jonathan. Looking forward to it. $57. Okay, 57. And then retirement living expenses. I think if I keep it on simple approach, we could just say that the living expenses are virtually the same as of right now. And what did we say? It was 4,500, I believe. Let's go back and check. Kind of forgot already. All right, 4,150. Oh no, there's an echo. Does it sound robotic? Because I thought I got rid of that. All right, we do have to add some healthcare expense. I'm just going to keep it at what the estimate is. We don't really need to model the long-term care event. We don't need to model a cash goal at the moment. Hey, Golf Busters, what's going on? We just, Golf Busters and I just made a video. Should be pretty funny. A more just like dubbed voice. I wonder if it's because I keep looking to the side and my mic is over here on. So I'll put my mic over here a little bit more centered. Maybe that will actually help because I keep looking at the chat, which is on my screen over here. So as far as goals go, we're just retiring with similar living expenses, and we have to add some retirement healthcare costs. Other than that, I think we're off to a pretty good start. So, okay. First thing we want to do is take a peek at what we got going on here from a 30,000 foot view. So what does the net worth look like? Well, we have 10,000 bucks in the bank. This person said we wanted to have a $500,000 401k, 100,000 in the Roth, 300,000 in the brokerage. And this person is only 34. So we will definitely want to be playing with the numbers a little bit, because I feel like this is, you're in the 1 percentile of 34-year-olds if you have this type of net worth at 34, which kudos to you if you have it. But that is not going to be everybody. I got to change their age here. So they are, what is it, 1989? All right. Let's go back to the blueprint here. Okay, so we just went over the net worth. Now let's take a peek at the income. Take a peek at the income here. And we can see that we have the salary, we have Social Security in the future, we have the 401k, we have the taxable account, we have the backdoor Roth getting maxed. That looks good. What goals do we have? Retirement, 57 or on the 58th birthday. And healthcare costs and just retirement living expenses. That looks good. Okay, so let's just go ahead and jump into retirement. Let's see how this looks at the first draft here. All right, things are off to an incredible start, showing a 96% chance of success. Let's take a look at the cash flow, make sure that it all adds up okay. So we have 130,000 coming in, 68,000 going out, and that is a combination of living expenses and housing. That's rent. We have taxes, federal, state, FICA tax. And then we have our planned savings. And you can see that we're doing the 22,500 to the 401k, but we didn't quite have enough to max out the Roth, simply because of how much we have in living expenses here, which I would say this is doing pretty good. I mean, from an analysis standpoint, I mean, let's take a peek at what percent this person's saving. I mean, this person is saving 24% of their total income. So this is a really solid savings rate. I mean, I wouldn't say this is out of control. Like, this is pretty realistic from a savings perspective. I mean, this person's doing incredibly well from the balance sheet already. And that is definitely why they are more than on track for a solid retirement. Let's take a peek at what income looks like here. So we have the salary going up slowly with inflation, and then you can see the salary stops at 57 because of retirement. But then we do have, let's go back to our income. We have Social Security. Social Security kicks in at 68 at full retirement. So actually, super interesting. We're going to have a huge gap from, look at this huge gap. If we just go to income, and you can see the salary going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. Finally, we get to the last year that we work, and then there's no income. No income from 56 all the way to 67 for retirement here, Social Security. Jeremy, yeah, we could add a pension, but I'll tell you what, this is already getting a little bit unrealistic with how well this person is doing. I mean, they don't need a pension. They're already on a 96% chance of success. This software is called Right Capital. I don't believe it's available retail. I believe it's just for advisors at this time. Yeah, the gap may or may not happen, but the gap is okay, because I'll show you why. This is what it's going to look like from a withdrawal perspective, because when you first retire at 57, Oh man, the withdrawal rate is already so low. All right, well, yeah, this plan is getting bonkers. Um, I mean, this plan is showing, let's just take a look at like what the net worth looks like for a while here. I mean, right now we're already at 910,000, and then we can see that this is showing net worth getting to $6 million by the time we're 56. Let's take a look at cash flows for a second here. When we get to, okay, right here, when we finally get to 57, okay, so we're withdrawing 150,000 from the portfolio from 57 all the way to 74. Actually, just kidding. All the way up until 67 when we turn on Social Security. And then Social Security is really the only income that we have at that time. And we can see that it stops the bleeding, but not perfectly. So this is kind of just what the income chart looks like here. You can see salary going up, going up, going up, tax payment going up, savings, we're doing good. And then all of a sudden, boom, we retire. And then look at that, no income, all expenses and taxes. Expenses and taxes. And it's going to be like that all the way until we get to Social Security. It's going to model RMDs the way that it has to. We put in, 20% of the 401k was pre-tax, so at age, what is RMD now? If you're young person, it's like 73, which by the time by the time I'm retired, it's probably going to be like 78 or something like that. Who knows? Okay, so what I think would be interesting is that, this plan is just so solid. What I'm curious about is, like, does someone really have to have that much in assets to retire by 57? So let's take a peek here. Could we change some things up here? Could we change the savings is fine. That's too. Oh, I think I have to add a new item. Oh, can I really not? All I can change is the savings amount. I can't change the total balance. Yeah, the earliest that's a good question. What's the earliest this person could retire? So let's just dial this one down. Let's go ahead and say that, what if we wanted to bump this down to like 45? How does that look here? Okay, so that starts to tap in. Now I'm thinking that, 45 is probably a little too early. We could probably change some of the distribution strategy. Like, are you actually going to be spending the same amount? Maybe by the time you get to age 80, because, like, for example, if we go into cash flow and we go into summary and we go to the expenses, living expenses, like, how ridiculous do these living expenses start to get into our later years? It's like, is it realistic that you're going to be spending $220,000 when you're 95. I mean, of course, if you have a medical event, but usually that lasts for 2-3 years and then you pass. So one thing I'll do sometimes is, and this program does a pretty good job analyzing this, is that you can do something called like adjust your retirement spending, and you can do like retirement spending stages. So if we go ahead and refresh that, that's probably going to help this a little bit. Not much. It helped it a little bit. We could do like a floor and ceiling strategy or a guardrail strategy. We don't need to get into all the details of that. That again helps a little bit. I'm kind of bummed that I couldn't reduce the investment amounts. So goals, these are goals that we want to have. Income, savings, expenses. I guess I'd just have to add like a major expense, but that seems kind of silly. Jonathan, are you still in the chat by chance? Curious if the sound has gotten any better, or if you feel like it was moving my mic maybe made it sound a little less muffled. Yeah, Jeremy, I would agree. This person doesn't need to save this aggressively if they already have that much in assets. I mean, this balance sheet is pretty out of control for a 34-year-old. I mean, you know, what is the average of a 34 in the US? 25 to 29 averages. 30 to 34, the average is 122,000. Yeah, so we're pretty far off here. Interesting. I think I said Colorado. Oh wait, no, we were looking for average. Median net worth. $30 to $34, average net worth is 122,000. The median net worth is 35,000. Okay, isn't that crazy? The difference between average and median. Cool. Well, I think I am going to hop off here. The goal here was just to check in with the sound and have a quick conversation, see who's up. So, Jeremy, thanks for playing along and going through the financial plan here. This was a ton of fun chatting with you. And let me know if you want to be a caller sometime in the future. Hit me up, send me a message on Instagram, and we'll get you on the phone. We can kind of chat through something. It'd be a good time. Thanks for everyone for watching, and have